Guess who's back again. Long time no see, fragrance connoisseurs and friends alike. If you haven't been on this channel's radar, or vice versa, my name is Joshua, and this channel is ScentSense. On this channel, we try to be different, we try to be unique, we try to be special. Not special, just PC, you know what I mean? All the loyal subscribers who have been sticking around, patiently waiting for new videos and new content, to you good folks at home, I say sorry. I mean, if you're at home, I don't know if you're at home. I don't have a Life 360 app. I'm not following your movements. I don't know if you're at home in your grandmother's basement eating Doritos, watching Gundam. I don't know. And to all you new people who are maybe checking out the channel for the very first time and you're not too sure what to do, this is a coronavirus safe environment. It's okay. You can breathe easy with ScentSense. Today we'll be talking about 10 fragrances from the designer world that I've worn so far in the months of winter and will continue to wear as long as we get some cold days mixed in with this global warming that's happening every day. Here comes all like the triggered Republicans that I know that are like, global warming ain't real. By God, I'll shoot you, global warming, with my AK-47 right now. Dead. Some of these choices will be fragrances you've heard of course. Some of these may be fragrances you haven't heard of. And some of these are definitely ones you may not reach for. But these are the ones that I've been wearing, I will continue to wear, and I suggest you at least check out. Starting off the list at number 10 is a fragrance from the house of Maison Margela. The fragrance we're talking about is Jazz Club. And you look at the bottle here, guys, there's not much left in there. Bought it as a partial, it was about halfway full. Quick sidebar, to you people who may be new to the fragrance community, new to collecting fragrances, go on Facebook, on the interwebs, and you will find these groups. Just type in fragrance group, and they'll have a ton of them on Facebook. And these people will sell what we call partials. Bottles like this, where there's still some left in the bottle, but it's not full. You can sometimes buy full bottles too. But the point I'm making is if you have a large collection or you're expanding your collection, sometimes partials are the way to go. Or 30 ml bottles. I'm telling you, just go with 30 mils. Enough rambling. Again, Jazz Club. Jazz Club is a slightly boozy, slightly smoky, kind of a dressier fragrance. This is something that Max Forte has said is something you would wear in a jazz club. Alanis Morissette, isn't it ironic? Don't you think? This is something that I will wear to a bar, but sometimes I often will wear this to, as we do in Cajun country, a bonfire. We'll sit around, fire in the ground that we light for no apparent reason other than for heat, warmth, and something to look at and poke with a stick. And we will drink alcohol and stay up all night talking about random bullcrap. That's when I usually wear this because I wear it for me. And most people can't really smell a huge amount of it on me because they usually smell just the bonfire. And here in South Louisiana, some people just, stick to Geo. So, if you want to wear something you want to wear, sometimes you just got to roll with it. But anyway, guys, at number 10 from the house of Maison Margela, the fragrance is Jazz Club. At number 9 from the house of Valentino is a fragrance that I was put on to by Mr. Carlos at the channel Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. I was sent this bottle for review by the kind folks at FragranceNet. I have done the video. It will be posted soon, so keep an eye out for that. Fragrance we're talking about coming in at number 9 is Valentino UOMO NOIR ABSOLU. So this fragrance is definitely not going to be for everybody. This one's got a kind of a weird smell that comes out of the top. It's almost got like this sourish kind of smell, a pickled smell. I don't know if anybody's ever smelled Stash by Sarah Jessica Parker, but the opening of this has a little bit of a commonality with that weird note in the background. But this here is something that's smoky, it's very thick, it's very heavy, and it's very strong. This is a 1-2 spray max kind of fragrance. This is gonna be something you wanna wear if you want to smell important, if you wanna smell like elegance personified. This is something that kind of smells more niche than designer in my humble opinion. But if you're looking for something that's daring and you're tired of the exact same fragrances that everyone else is wearing and you're looking for something unique, this is definitely one that'll work for you. Coming in at number 9 from the house of Valentino, we have NOIR ABSOLU. The fragrance coming in at number 8 is a fragrance from a place that makes tons and tons of lotions, body creams, women's body mists, a place that has most ridiculous sales and has the most amazing candles. I'm sure you've guessed it by now. If you haven't, you live under a rock. The fragrance we're talking about is from the house of Bath & Body Works. At number 8, Bourbon. So this fragrance is very misleading. Number 1, looks like a nice red wine, which is not bourbon. Number 2, smells nothing like alcohol or bourbon, so therefore I don't know where they came out with the name. I'm assuming they just thought it was cool. I don't know. What I get from this fragrance is a poor man's Dior Homme. This has a soapy quality to it also. In my opinion, it smells like clearly a cleaner, fresher, slightly soapy version of what you would get from Dior Homme. This does not have iris in it, but it does have something in it that mimics what iris smells like. I don't know if it's a combination of notes or a hidden note that they're not telling you about, but don't get it twisted. It's Bath & Body Works. They're not like master perfumers. So if you're looking for something that's not gonna offend a ton of people, you can definitely wear it to the office or maybe for a date night. Coming in at number 8 from the house of Bath & Body Works, Bourbon. Coming in at number 7 is a fragrance that's overlooked often from this line of fragrances. It's an oldie but a goodie, a fragrance from the house of Chanel. The fragrance is Chanel's Allure Homme. Funny story, I was in a fragrance store yesterday and this guy was like, man, you know which one I really like? It's called HOMME. He said homie. Like, what's up, my homie? So I educated him that it was a French word and it meant man. And about 15 minutes later, he said homie again. So, Allure Homme, my homie. This draws a lot of the characteristics that you would smell in fragrances such as Bond No. 9's New Harlem, Perry Ellis M. It has a lot of the same like sappy, sweet, sticky qualities. This is definitely something that's meant for a more mature guy. This is not something for you youngsters. This is not something for people who watch what's that channel? He makes just a crap ton of top 10 videos. Chaos fragrances. This is not something that guys who watch chaos fragrances would wear. This is something that is meant for an older gentleman, somebody more my age or older, you know, early 30s, mid to late 30s, early 40s. That's what this is. This is very, very charming. This is something that I wear when I want to feel like a full-grown man. Not a half-grown man or a quarter-grown man. A man with a 745 credit score, a 401k, and a nice wooden fence. So coming in at number 7 from the house of Chanel, Allure Homme. At number 6 is a fragrance that when it's sprayed heavy is just like throwing a grenade in the room. It's very, very heavy. It's something that is easily picked up. It's something that everyone knows what it is. It is the spicy fragrance of the popular fragrance world. It's one that everyone knows, everyone reaches for, and pretty much everyone has. But I digress because I still wear it. At number 6 is Viktor and Rolf's SPICEBOMB. The SPICEBOMB is a spicy, slightly smoky, very slightly smoky fragrance. This is known as a super spicy fragrance. Everyone knows that. This is the fragrance that you're gonna wear if you're into that kind of vibe. Take away all the soapiness you get from like Bleu de Chanel and take that spiciness away from it. That's what you get in this. This is something that's meant for wintertime. This is not something you should be wearing in the summertime. I know there's people that go to Macy's and Dillard's and they don't even think about that when they buy a fragrance. They just buy it because it smells good. But in my personal opinion, this is not something you should wear then. This is a quintessential winter fragrance. And this is definitely something that I think will stick with me forever. It's just one of those fragrances that everybody knows, and it's just a classic. And I think it's a newer classic for my age demographic, the 30 pluses. Coming in at number 6 from the house of Viktor and Rolf, SPICEBOMB. At number 5 is a fragrance that is quite daring for most men. I know some of you people are from the north, or some of you people are from the far West and California area. And to you, this is not daring at all. But here in the South, this is not something you're going to smell on most men, because most men wear stuff that makes you smell like you literally just got out of a shower and you bathed in Axe and Old Spice your whole life. This is something that is slightly sweet, decadent. This is something that is very, very alluring, in my opinion, and sexy and intoxicating. This is something that I wear when I'm going on a date night and I want to be unique. And I know that there's going to be other couples there, or other friends, and I want to stick out and I want to draw attention. And this is something that I wear that makes me feel like I'm not smelling like every other dude in the room who's wearing Versace Arrows. Coming in at number 5 from the house of Tom Ford, Noir Extreme. At number 5, this fragrance is something that I think is definitely more unisex than male leaning. I think if you're a woman, you can definitely wear this, but you have to be sure of yourself and a confident woman. I think the same is true for a man. This is not something to just grab and wear if you're just the average guy who just isn't into wearing fragrances. This is something for people who like fragrances. This is not something you should go into Dillard's and have literally no fragrances, and the only fragrance you've ever worn in your life is Polo Green, Canoe, and Cool Water, and you're like, I want to be adventurous. I'm going to get this. It's not the ticket, guys. Stick to what you know until you grow the collection and you learn. Don't jump head in. You know, take your time. Dip your toe in the water a little bit. So coming in at number 5 is my late night date night. Got some friends with you, got to get right fragrance. Just realized that rhymed a lot. Not intended at all. At number 5, Noir Extreme. Extreme. At number 4 is one of only 2 fragrances I own from this house, and they're both from the 1 Million line. But the other one is 1 Million Cologne, and I think it's a very underrated fragrance. But the one that I'm holding in my hand is the one that most frag heads truly appreciate, no matter if you like the 1 Million line or you absolutely despise it. Coming in at number 4, from the house of Paco Rabanne, 1 Million's PRIVE. This is a 50 ml bottle, as you can see. It's got a little dent in it right there. That is something that I've started to do, and I suggest all my fellow fragrance, I hate when people say it like that, fellow fragrance connoisseurs should do, is get smaller bottles. I know the value is not as much. You get 100 ml, you get it for 80, you can get a 50 ml for 65, and you feel like you're getting robbed. Here's the deal. That $15 stays in your pocket, and this fragrance goes on your shelf with the other 85 that you have. And you'll never wear it to the bottom, just like you'll never wear the 100 to the bottom. Stop being anal and feeling like you're getting ripped off, and save money. Don't be dumb. Now to the actual fragrance talk. Let's talk about what this fragrance does for me. This takes the 1 Million DNA that's very, very sweet and loud and almost screechy, very attention-grabbing, very college-age clubbing fragrance, and adds a more sticky, subdued, higher quality of sweet fragrance that has a rich, almost decadent feel. This is something that is going to make you feel a little bit more mature. If this fragrance was the older brother of 1 Million, it would be the one that has the suit and the full-time job and drives the Mercedes that he bought. 1 Million is the fragrance of the younger brother who drives the Mercedes that his dad bought for him. So if you want to smell like you bought your own Mercedes, you should get 1 Million PRIVE. So coming in at number 4 from the house of Paco Rabanne, 1 Million's PRIVE. At number 3 is a fragrance from a very popular designer house. It's my favorite designer house. They make quality, affordable fragrances at a very cheap price, very crowd pleasing, very mass appealing, very easy to wear, stuff that you can just grab for 40, 50 bucks on the gray market and be more than satisfied. From the house of Versace is a fragrance that's not often talked about, Versace Man. So Versace Man is the predecessor to the Mano Fresh fragrance that everyone has known to come and love. That is that super fresh, salty fragrance that is worn during the summertime, that everybody and their mama wears. It looks just like this, but it's blue. This one is a slightly more mature, sophisticated, and slightly dated older brother. If I had to give you a quick synopsis of this, and if you've smelled the majority of the fragrances from the Versace line, this smells like Versace Oud Noir years earlier without oud. You smell the fresh undertones of this, but then you also smell the thick, almost not smoky, but just super powerhouse leaning notes. But this doesn't have that super powerhouse vibe. This feels like this was made at the edge and the cusp of the powerhouse fragrances, those older fragrances that guys with lots of neck meat wore. This is like the fresher version of that. This is like the transition fragrance from the old towards the newer fragrances that you all have come to know and love. This one kind of reaches in for me with this nostalgia vibe. I kind of like the way this smells. I feel like this one makes me feel a little more older and sophisticated. I feel less like a child. Sometimes I feel like a child. This is definitely a fragrance I wear for me. It is not my wife's favorite. This is a fragrance that when I wear around some older folks, they really, really enjoy it. They think I smell great. I have an uncle. He's like, man, that smells great. What you wearing, bud? Versace man, bro. So if you're looking for something that harkens back to the past, but doesn't dive directly into the past and keeps you a little grounded in what we call the present and people in the past call the future, go ahead and reach for number 3, Versace's Man. At number 2 is a fragrance that is not widely available in the United States, but very widely available in the UK. Americans everywhere tend to love this fragrance, and I think it's partially the mystique of not being able to grab it, but also because it just smells really good. You all know this channel enough to know, if you do know this channel, that I was never the biggest fan of Iris. This fragrance changed the game, and it helped me reach further and further into this line, and now I own pretty much every single one from this line. Coming in at number 2 from the house of Dior, it is Dior Homme Parfum. As you can see, I bought this as a partial. There's maybe 20 milliliters left in this sucker, but that's plenty enough for me. I only need 2 to 3 sprays per application, and I've got over 165 fragrances last time I counted, and that was a while back, so it's probably much, much more than that. This is Cocoa, Iris, sweet, classy. It's the melding of multiple worlds that usually would not work well together, but this one really, really works well. This is not something you should walk around in a basic outfit. This is something you would wear in a nice button down with a nice pair of chinos, with a nice pair of leather boots at a minimum. You've got to wear something decent when wearing this. This is not something that you're gonna reach for if you're walking around in a, Lakers hoodie and a backwards cap. This is not the cup of tea for that. If you're not a fan of lipsticky vibes, this is not gonna work for you. If you're not a fan of Iris, this is not gonna work for you. But if you have delved into the world of Iris and you're starting to really appreciate it and you wanna take it to that next level, that elite level, you wanna reach for number 2, Dior Homme Parfum. At number 1 is a fragrance that, if I'm not mistaken, is either becoming discontinued, has been discontinued, it's just hard to find, one of those things. So you should definitely get your hands on it before it does. It is an ugly bottle. It is a tacky bottle. And I'm pretty sure that has something to do with the terrible sales that it had at first. From the Givenchy line of Play, this is Givenchy Play Intense. Givenchy Play is a bottle that literally looks like an old school MP3 player. It's got a rewind button, a fast forward button, a play button. It's really bad. This bottle's really beaten up. It's got a chip in the glass right here, if you can see it. The cap looks like absolute garbage. It's just not in the best of conditions, but I love it and I've been with it for a while. This is something I use very sparingly, which is why if you see the juice level is only to right here, but that's because I'm conserving it, not because I don't wear it. This is a 1, 2, maybe 3 sprayer. I just really don't want to run out of this, and I don't want to pay $100, $120 a bottle. I just think it's egregious because I got this one from much cheaper. This, in my opinion, is the best gourmand fragrance from the designer world. This is something that has niche quality written all over it. It is an underviewed, undervalued, under-talked about fragrance that I think needs much more exploitation and much more time with people. You should just go blind by it. Don't even think about it, just buy it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, I'll buy it from you or somebody will, because this one right here is so fantastic. This is actually something I think can be worn year round. I work in an air-controlled environment, but at the same time, in the same breath, this one really shines in the winter time. It's so good, man. Look at me right here breaking my rule, just spraying 3 sprays dead in the air. But this is just so fantastic. This is just so sexy to me. I just feel absolutely sexy when I wear this. My wife loves this one. And listen, you know, people make these top 10 fragrances to get you laid. This would be in there for me. I'm not going to make that video. And if I ever do, just know to all you people out there, it's a complete troll video. And if you want to see me make it, tell me in the comments below and I'll do it. We'll have fun with it. But the fragrances that work for my wife are crappy fragrances like Nautica Pure. You know what I mean? Cheap, inexpensive fragrances. So it's not going to be the ones you see in most of these videos where it's like, oh man, if you want to get laid, you should wear CH Man Privé. No chick I have ever met thinks that it is smelling pleasant when they smell that fragrance. None. Zero. Zilch. Hot girls that wouldn't talk to most of the guys who make these videos, hot girls that are the ones that they randomly stop on the side of the street, these are not girls who think that smells good. There are girls who would definitely think this smells good. So rounding out my top 10 list, at number 1 is Givenchy Play Intense. Man, it feels good to be back, guys. I'm so glad that I made this video. I'm so glad that I actually have time to make this video. I hope you enjoy it. I will be doing my best to continually upload at least 2, but more likely 3 to 4 videos a week for time as we go. Let's just keep it going, keep it rolling. If you have any ideas for great videos, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to try to get to them. I have a huge backlog of stuff that I need to do, but I will do my best to get to them. Again, thank you so much for staying around and being loyal to the channel. I hope you enjoy this video. If you want to check out any of these fragrances, check out websites like FragranceNet, Fragrance by CA, Max Aroma, Fragrance X. Go to Facebook fragrance groups. Don't buy these at retail. And some of these you can't even get at retail. But if you do want to buy them at retail, by all means, go for it. Because honestly, that's the only way you are 100% sure. Now that I think about it. Now that you watched this video and you've made it this far, I do hope you consider subscribing. Subscribing keeps you in the loop and lets you know when my videos come out because they'll drop directly in your feed. And if you want to go one step further while you're at it, there's a little bell. Click on it. That is the notification bell. That will let you know when my videos come out. Yes, you will be the first to know. And as always, this feels great. And most importantly, I'll smell each and every one of you later. Peace!